Well, good evening. It was a good performance by our guys, especially in the second half defensively. I thought we knew South Carolina was a very physical and tough, hard-nosed team. Frank Martin's team's always well coached and well prepared. We got them in some foul trouble early on. I think that hurt, especially P.J. Dozier, who's an outstanding player. But I was impressed with Dedrick and Markell. They really stepped up. Jamario did a good job making some, big-time jumpers there during that stretch when we were able to put the game away. And then he learned how to play with those 4 fouls, 3 fouls on him, and did a good job. Any questions?
Talk about the defensive effort y'all had tonight, especially against P.J. Dozier, who y'all had the 13 points on 5 of 16 shooting.
Yeah, I thought Jeremiah did a good job tonight defensively. Really forced him to shoot contested shots. Really hounded him on the perimeter. Trying to limit his touches, and that's what we wanted to do. So the game plan was to make him work. And then to attack whenever we found him on someone to try to, especially when he picked up his second and third foul, to try to go after him. But that was our game plan, and it worked out. But again, a good player like him, only a sophomore, is going to be pretty good in the future.
Coach, obviously you're not a big team, but when you went to the smaller lineup, you brought Clear Joe in. You had him with Jeremiah Martin and Markell. Mm-hmm. It worked in the first half. You went back to it at 39-38 and really closed them out. Why was that lineup so effective for you tonight?
Well, it was probably the defense. They were playing well defensively. The quickness. I think we had KJ was out of the lineup, and it's a tough matchup for him usually on a wing man, and they weren't that big on the wing, unlike SMU was. SMU was much bigger, and so. I think that's why it was more effective tonight with the smaller lineup, and Keon's really he's tough. He's a physical, tough player, and I thought he did some good things while he was out there. And when we surround him with the other guys out there, that may have been our best defensive team as far as. On the court at that time. Jamario was probably our best defender, and then, then there's a debate between. I said Jamario. Jamario was probably our number one. Then there's Jeremiah and Markell, and then there's everybody else defensively, and so that's where we. So I thought. Keon made a difference. His speed. Pardon me? Oh yeah. Well, quickness. You have speed, and you have a lot more. And he's fearless, going for the ball, getting on the floor for loose balls, taking charges. I mean, those are things that he and Jeremiah probably are the best on the team in doing.
Coach.
I mean, Jamario. I got these guys. Jesus. I'm giving him a little too much credit, Jamario.
Coach, 10:58, you went into 1-1. You made 15 free throws after that point. Did your aggressiveness negate the physicality that you lacked in the last game?
Say that again now. I mean, it's been a long day.
At 10:58, you went into 1-1. You had 15 free throws to end the game. Did your aggressiveness negate their physicality that they came in the game with?
Well, I thought our defense was spectacular in the second half. We hold the team to, what did they shoot? 9 for 32. So we really were aggressively attacking them. So I don't know that. And our aggressiveness taking it to the ball. In the basket, we realized we were in a 1-1. I think we got in a 1-1 early on in the second half, and that played into our hands as well. So we instructed the players to attack, take it to the basket, and we did.
Coach, you talked last time in here about Markell having a game where he had no free throws, and tonight he's 10 of 12. I mean,
hey, listen.
Yeah,
he's coachable.
What was it about his game tonight that kind of just stepped up?
Well, I mean, those are things we have to remind him of, that this is what he does well, and he's good in the open court and good in transition, and he's tough around the basket. I thought he had the matchup. You know, he was able to attack, and that helped. You know, you don't have a guy 6'6", someone taller and stronger than you guarding you, so you're a little better. Your chances are better of scoring and playing better, unlike against SMU.
Coach, last game you said that you were still trying to figure out the identity of this team, and we've seen a big change. A month ago you couldn't make free throws. You won a game 2 weeks ago, 99-92. Now you've held consecutive opponents under 60. Is that what you think the identity ultimately of this team will be? The hallmark will be defense.
Well, every game you've got to play defense at any level, but especially with with our ball line principles. It just takes a while for guys to understand how to have to play, and it's I'm more of I'm very pleased when we play defense like this, and that's the way we should. That's what we're going to have to play. You're talking about identity. That's going to have to be our ability to shut people down, because we're really not where we scored 70 points tonight, and that probably was because we're playing against a very aggressive team who fouled 30 times. So it's not you're going to unlike the other night. They were very packed in defense. Whereas, South Carolina's a very aggressive, old playing, denying, where we get a couple back doors, a couple hard drives to the basket. So you asked me about our identity. We're one of those teams that's just going to have to, just adapt to whatever it calls for. That's what I like about this group. We've learned how to do that. I think we can play up tempo and we can play slow, and you're going to have to do that. So that's our identity. Whatever that is.
Coach, do you get the sense that Markel Crawford is still figuring out how good he can be offensively? We've always known he was a great defender, and I'm sure he did too, but it seems like, well, then it's questionable.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
Maybe when he wanted to be.
Great defender?
Maybe when he wanted to be.
Okay.
But it seems like you guys have unlocked something offensively.
Well, I think, he's being able to create offense with his defense, you're right, and I think he's a little more comfortable. We worked on changing his shot, and he's on balance. That's something that he's really worked on hard, again. And those are just mechanical and things that I think he still need to continue to improve on. But his ability to take guys off the dribble, and that's what he needs to do, combine that ability to shoot the outside shot with taking people off the dribble is what he needs to continue to do. But, it's just, I guess the freedom maybe. He's older. He's a year more mature. So I think those are all things that go into play.
The balance on that shot that y'all want to work on?
Yeah. He had a tendency to land on one foot, and just can't. So that's been a real. He had a tendency to look at the flight of the ball. A lot of things that were wrong that we had to work on.
Coach, you guys have 4 losses on the season, and after every loss, you've been able to bounce back in a pretty significant way. Talk about what your mentality in practice coming off a loss.
Well, it was pretty intense yesterday. So, and maybe that's, in fact, the players, I was telling them after the game, sorry I had to be on you but they were like, Coach, man, whatever you have to do to get us, inspired and motivated and intense. And I thought that was, you have to stay aggressive. But today, using the bench helped. I think that gave us a little more energy at the end of the game. Guys playing 40 minutes. But again, it was pretty physical under the basket there. But I thought, getting even those 2 minutes or 3 minutes that Dietrich had, I think a big key was Keon giving us those quality minutes, and then we could move people around. Early on, I was trying to do that with Craig in the game, give them a rest early on, and I think it was beneficial.
Coach, last game and definitely this game, KJ scoring is way down. Is it a matter of his shots are just not falling, or is it something?
Shot selection. He took some tough shots in the last game, and tonight I thought he took a few bad shots. I mean, bad shots lead to either a good shooter taking bad shots or a bad shooter taking bad shots. So, the only way he's going to change that is to take better shots.
Coach, this is the last time we'll see you in 2016, and you have the meat of the conference schedule coming next week. Do you have any New Year's resolutions for your team going into the new year?
Oh, we're going to meet tomorrow probably and make some resolutions, but I'm not a big make a lot of them. No, I just want our guys to stay healthy. That's the key to anything is just being able to show up and to perform. So we can just stay healthy. I'll be happy. It'll be a blessed year. It has been a blessed year. So certainly, Jimmy Hazlett, man, we're going to thank you for all your services. 53 years. Longevity has its rewards. Yeah, it's that's special. I was thinking about my dad when we hugged there. He was 40-some years, 44 years he worked and drove a school bus and stuff, and the state of Maryland honored him for never missing a day. I mean, who does that? I mean, and being just, I'm really grateful that we met, and thank you for all you've done. That's special. All right.
I'll tell you something, Coach, man. When those players came over tonight, this class just moved.
Oh.
Anybody even put on me, I thank you for that.
Well, we love you for your service. You and I, we're from the same generation, probably. God bless you. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Happy New Year.